let's get into it. Let's dig. Let's dig. All right. My gosh, these generals. All right. They're freaking. All right. So I gotta just start. We're the January 6th commission. Nancy Pelosi basically handpicked the people that she wants to be on it.
Yep.
The Republic. Hold on. The Republicans. I got to do it in air quotes because these guys aren't Republicans. They're puppets.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Pelosi's got her hand all the way up their butts right now, talking. What was he crying? Did you say? I missed this part. Kinzinger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kinzinger was straight up crying, and he goes to the Capitol.
Why?
He's talking to Capitol police officers. I have the CNN article here, and I'll read it to you really quickly. And it says,
"Hold on, share it. Share
GOP law." Can I actually share my screen?
Yeah, yeah. I think you can,
awesome.
right?
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Let's see if we can do this. All right.
Yeah, let's see this article.
So,
there it is. I think I got to bring it in.
So it says, you guys won. GOP lawmaker tearfully addresses Capitol officers, and he was paying an emotional tribute to Capitol police officers who protected the building and those inside during the violent January 6th riot. And if you actually watch
they let him through.
Oh, gosh, Adam. Okay. First things first, this is a grown-ass man. I was physically there getting tear gas. There was a good 20 minutes where I had to sit down outside because I couldn't breathe, and I had to tell myself not to have a panic attack because I felt like I was going to die, and I was freaking out. And then I was like, I'm good, I'm fine. And then I watched a Capitol police officer get taken hostage, if you will, because there was a big mob outside trying to break into the Capitol. What they ended up trying to do was pull police officers out of the line. But what happened to that police officer was, as he was getting mobbed, big Trump supporting men said, get away from him. They surrounded him and they escorted him through this huge mob to make sure that he was safe. I watched this with my eyes. And so the fact that, again, Adam Kinzinger is crying right now, and that you had Capitol police officers straight up crying, I'm like, bro, I was over the Capitol the next day. So the fact that we have grown men in America who are up in front of our entire nation crying is pathetic, bro. Oh my gosh.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, this is what really pisses me off. Okay, I was there listening to Trump speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Trump finished speaking, okay, I got a text message. I checked my Twitter, and I saw they're inside the Capitol, literally before he finished speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Very important point.
Yeah, before he finished, I gotta say, nobody had left. I was standing there. Trump was speaking. It was potentially the last time he ever spoke as president of the United States. Those people that were there loved Trump. They were there to listen to Trump speak, right? Mm-hmm. They weren't leaving to go to the Capitol until he finished. And guess what? He finished, and then they started slowly migrating over to the Capitol, in which case I went with them. I traveled along and got to the Capitol, and I was like, wow, I actually have pictures of the moment when I got to the Capitol. And guess what I saw? A bunch of people standing around.
See, Adam, and this is an interesting thing too, because I was actually there before Trump finished speaking. And me and Elijah decided to walk down. We were like, hey, let's go ahead and get ahead of the crowd. And because we made that decision, we actually were there right when they broke through that first initial barrier.
Yeah.
And initially, but what I wanted to point out too is that there was 100% Antifa members there. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. They were breaking windows. We have that CNN, contributor Jaden X, who was paid tens of thousands of dollars for his footage, was wearing a MAGA hat, trying to pose as a Trump supporter. So there was 100% Antifa members there. 2, I watched this happen, and like you said, Trump wasn't even finished speaking and people were already there. And then 3, it wasn't like, a giant mob of people just came and like violently were storming everything automatically. Like you said, you walked up and people were standing there for the most part. And it wasn't like a 5-minute, like the Capitol police were so afraid they couldn't do anything. There were standoffs with the police. People, there were some choice words being said. Some people were saying, thank you for what you do, officers, but we're here to stand up for, our voices today. And my one friend literally got the footage of the Capitol police officers letting people in. They opened the doors and they said, hey, just don't break anything.
Yep.
Where's that footage? Is that being played in the January 6th commission?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, of course not. Because Nancy Pelosi's whole mission here is to vilify you, me, anyone who showed up there to vote for Trump, literally everybody, because that's what they need. They need to stoke the fear. They need to stoke the division. They need to make sure that people need them. It makes me think. It makes me think of V for Vendetta, where they're like, we need to remind them why they need us. You know who I'm talking about?
Exactly
Chancellor.
what it is.
That's who Nancy Pelosi is.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie, but you reference it all the time.
What?
I still need to watch it. I know. I need to watch it because everyone references it, and I'm like, it seems very applicable.
I'm almost jealous right now because of the state of the world right now. You're gonna watch V for Vendetta, and you're gonna flip out. Oh man, I want to have like a viewing party with you to hear your reactions.
Let's just do it. We'll just live stream and I'll watch the movie and be like, why is this just essentially NBC News that I'm watching right now?
Right? I mean, we are so close to black bags. I mean, in the movie, I'm not spoiling anything. And this happens in the very beginning. Where they black bag people, throw a bag over your face, throw you in a van, and you disappear. It's like that's
Adam,
what they're doing that with the people that went inside the Capitol, which you said there's footage of the Capitol Police letting them in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they're being detained against their will. They're American citizens. No representation. What is this?
And that's been my biggest beef with the media lately, too, because you have people like Sean Hannity, focused in on Cuba. Marco Rubio is really talking about it right now. People, Matt Gaetz specifically, pushing for the Free Britney thing that's going on. And it's like all of these things are important. But at the same time, we literally have political prisoners that are being held in jail with no trial date in sight. They're singing the national anthem every night at, I think, 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. just to keep their spirits up. Yeah, just to keep their spirits up. And none of our politicians want to be fighting for them. Y'all want to talk about freeing Britney Spears and what's going on in Cuba? I've just, again, adopted a very America First mentality because I personally know people who have had their doors broken down by the FBI and have been arrested solely for being at the Capitol. And it really frustrates me that our media and our politicians who are supposed to be fighting for the American people are more focused on other countries or just smaller issues in our country right now.
You're absolutely right. I don't blame you at all. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
But man, someone said you're spreading fake news. What have I said that's fake news? This person clearly is clueless because nothing that we've said so far is wrong. All right. We've witnessed it.
Yeah. I love when people are like, oh, you're fake news. And I'm like, okay, well, I was there with my own two eyes witnessing.
We were there.
So you read a news article and you weren't there and I was there, but I'm fake news because I'm telling you my eyewitness account. Got it.
Right. Exactly. It's like we are literally talking about things that we witnessed ourselves. They talked about the freaking Brian Sicknick lie. They were claiming that he was beaten with a fire extinguisher. Okay, which they then retracted and said actually there's no proof of that. That he was in any altercations and he died of a stroke. And it's like, okay, so did he died of a stroke? So how does that have anything to do with what happened in the Capitol? He wasn't attacked. They're saying that it was a direct attempt.
Yeah, and not only that, but I keep on hearing this reiteration that it was several Capitol police officers who died that day. And a lot,
really?
Many Americans think that it is several Capitol police officers that died that day, but it was none. The only people that died that day were Trump supporters.
Yep, exactly. 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, and only one was murdered. Yeah, straight murdered. The other 3 died of, I think someone had a heart attack. Someone had, actually, there was 2 heart attacks. I don't remember exactly what their cause of death was, but they weren't like killed, like murdered, like Ashley Babbitt was straight up shot in the neck and got killed. But I can tell you who wasn't murdered though. The Officer Sicknick. Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's what they're pushing, though. They're trying to put it on Trump supporters that they killed a Capitol police officer. No.
Adam, did you also see that this came out today, too? Did you see the latest Project Veritas drop with AOC?
With CNN?
Yeah.
I heard they were going to. Oh, tell me. What is this? I missed this.
So
fill me in.
She equated what happened on January 6th to sexual assault. She said that she was afraid that she was going to get raped. And keep in mind that the people that were banging on the door saying, "Where is she?" were Capitol police officers going to rescue her. And she was nowhere in the building where the siege was actually taking place. And so
Yeah.
Project Veritas leaked this CNN interview where she said, "I thought I was going to be raped." Another exaggeration of her story that day. Absolutely disgusting. But again, those are our politicians. Those are the people who are ruling over
My
us right now.
God. She was, all right, for those who don't know, here's the Capitol building, right? We'll say, here it is right here. Here's the Capitol building. AOC was in this building over here, like 3 blocks away.
So
All right.
far away, she probably couldn't even hear what was going on.
She was 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Sure, they're connected through underground tunnels, but I'll tell you what, they weren't letting people into underground tunnels. They were letting people into the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? For a photo op. That's really what I saw. You saw all the different professional photographers that were in there. I mean, you were there that day. I know that you were paying attention to all the different photos that were coming out. People were like, what's up with these professional videographers, photographers that were in there taking pictures with like serious cameras? Like,
Adam,
how are they getting these shots?
So in regards to that, I know a lot of the White House reporters were in there, like some of the AP reporters. So they're like, well, we were already in there. That's where those shots were coming from. But then Vice came out with this piece, and I'm sure you saw this, where it was like the reporters of January 6th still dealing with their stress and PTSD. And I read that piece and I was like, you people are so pathetic. I'm a tiny brown Asian woman, and I got over that in a day. I was like, wow, that really sucked. I was okay the next day. And you have grown men in this country, grown reporters who are like, I'm just still suffering with the PTSD because I saw someone in a shaman, headdress, and they looked kind of scary. There was a lot of red. I was
Savannah. That's because you're a boss, and these people are just filled with something called entitlement. They think that the world revolves around them. Case in point, AOC. First it was, I thought I was going to die. Well, that didn't garner enough attention because people called her out for actually being in another building. What did she do? She waited a couple months, and now that the whole January 6th is back up in the spotlight, guess what she does? Miss Grifter of the Year, I think she should be. Oh no, I think I was going to be raped. Okay, so you thought you were going to get killed and raped? I mean, both. I'm obviously terrible if that was really going to happen. But
yeah.
AOC, come on, you were in another building, not even close. It was the Capitol Police trying to make sure you were safe, right?
Oh my gosh, this woman's so dramatic. I swear.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. And what makes it even worse is that all happened before the people started pounding on the doors, because of the pipe bombs that they can't find out who put them in the different places, right? They weren't ever used because the crowd ended up moving to the Capitol, so they had their agent provocateurs work perfectly, right? But they were all evacuated because of the pipe bombs before anyone started breaching into the Capitals anyway. So AOC started whipping this whole narrative up because it fit her whole grift perfectly. It's disgusting.
And then luckily for AOC too, she had the entire media and various politicians coming forward and saying, this is the worst thing we've seen since 9/11, since the Civil War. And my favorite counterpoint to that is you all literally went back into the Capitol building the same day. If this was as bad as 9/11, you would not have been able to do that. So please just stop.
It's insulting. It's insulting to the people who died that day. Whatever caused it, I don't care what conspiracy theory it is. 2 planes crashed into that building and a bunch of people then died. It is a crazy tragedy that actually happened. Thousands of people died that day. Yeah. And thousands of people got sick, and first responders fought for so long to get treatment for all the ailments that they were dealing with because they were out there breathing in that disgusting dust. And I mean, there's so much involved there.
People still have health problems because of that dust to this day. And you want to equate what happened for 3 hours at the Capitol to 9/11?
Shame on you. Every single one of you. Yes. Shame. Oh, Gavin Newsom came out and said his recall effort is akin to the January 6th assault on democracy.
I
He had
can't. You know what?
he had the gall to say that.
Every single time I see Gavin Newsom, I'm just like, and I just turn off my
Villain.
computer. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Scroll. I'm not
Keep
I'm
keep
not even gonna
scrolling.
listen to it. Yeah, literally American Psycho. Like what? Oh gosh, Gavin Newsom is so crazy and evil. Like truly an evil person.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
he is. What is that? What American Psycho? I
Mhm.
mean, he is Christian Bale in American Psycho. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
He's got that
except
same
crazier
energy.
somehow. Crazier.
You know what? I just gotta show everybody. This is from Jack Posobiec. The only one Capitol police officer has been murdered in the past 20 years. His name was Billy Evans. He was killed in the 4/2 extremist attack on the U.S. Capitol by a Nation of Islam follower. This is not getting any news. The dude got run over. Someone rammed into this man as he was standing defending the Capitol. Like,
Well,
I don't
it's
care if
because
you agree that they were there or not. He got run over.
Well, of course, it's because the perpetrator wasn't white. I'm just going to go ahead and come out and say that straight out. We've clearly seen, too, going back to Project Veritas, CNN literally will not run stories when it's a black shooter, but they will highlight it until they're blue in the face when it's a white shooter. So they do this time and time again. And Posobiec also added, too, I don't know if it's in that same thread, but there were 2 other police officers that were killed, too, or were hurt. And I think they were
in
hurt
98.
I think so, yes.
Yeah,
But
he says it here, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great thread to reference because
prior to 4/2, the last time Capitol police officers were murdered was in 1998 when a deranged gunman broke into the Capitol. And let's see what happens here.
And on this subject too, the Capitol building has been insurrected many a time, but because it wasn't white people who did it, because it was feminists or the Black Panthers, apparently that's okay. That doesn't matter.
Yep. Or, I don't know, looking back at the past year, you got banned from Twitter for just showing videos of the countless riots and burning down our country and demanding period from Antifa, demanding everything, and BLM demanding everything and burning their own communities down. How is that not insurrection? But this is.
Adam,
seriously.
This is gonna make you even more mad than you already are right now. So going back to Adam Kinzinger, he was saying today, the difference between what happened on the 6th and the BLM and Antifa riots is that there's a difference between crime and there's a difference between subverting the rule of law.
Oh, shut up.
I was like, but I'm just so angry at him. The amount of small business owners that I've seen cry, that I've seen lives destroyed, the amount of grandmas and grandpas and children who I've seen terrorized in the streets because they had the audacity to wave the American flag on America's streets. Black Lives Matter and Antifa terrorized people for a year. They destroyed people's businesses. They went and looted and rioted. I literally watched them take dollies and pull out washers and dryers from freaking Lowe's, bro, in the middle of the night. So but somehow January 6th was worse than all of that.
These people are deranged. I'm looking at you, Nancy Pelosi. And you know what? You too, Kinzinger, you rhino. In fact, I'm almost bummed about the whole rhino name because rhinos are awesome. Rhinos are incredible animals. So to name them rhinos is an insult to rhinoceros out there. But Republican in name only, I get it. That's what it is. But that's what they are. And that's why Nancy Pelosi was like, oh, great. We got the puppet. We don't have the actual senators that were real Republicans going, we want on that panel so we can check you when you try to make this a biased attack on basically Republicans and Trump supporters.
Was supposed to be a part of this commission, and Nancy Pelosi was like, nope, sorry, absolutely not. And then you know who is on there? Kinzinger and then Liz Cheney. Good old Liz.
Oh, cool. Yeah, total. Republicans, right? I mean,
gosh.
Goodness sakes.
It's
embarrassing.
Going?
I don't know. And
Adam, you're like, that's why I'm in Sweden.
Well, I mean, I'm here now, but I feel like maybe I should stay.
For real, yeah.
Dude, it's just... I I get so frustrated at the gaslighting and like disgusting bait and switch. You know what? Hold on. Let me show this tweet that I found this picture going around. And this just sums up the media. I mean, this is have you seen this picture?
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
Let me so I can zoom in on this thing. Hold on. All right. So check us out. The effects of Black Lives Matter protests on coronavirus cases explained. And then in the inverse, the attack on the Capitol may have also been a super spreader event. Here we go from the Washington Post. Protests probably didn't lead to coronavirus spikes, but it's hard to know for sure. And then the next one from Washington Post. Storming of Capitol was textbook potential for coronavirus super spreader, experts say. I mean, there is so many examples of this.
Adam, did you see the CNN headline that read that reparations could have stopped the spread of COVID-19?
Bull.
No. It is an actual
I almost swore. I try not to swear on my show.
I'm gonna see if I can find
I almost just slipped one past. Oh my god. Really?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see if I could find it.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Black Lives Matter protests have not led to a spike of coronavirus cases, research says. Okay. Research says 38 Capitol police officers test positive for COVID-19 after Capitol riot. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. What do we got here?
Reparations for slavery could have reduced COVID-19 transmission and deaths in the U.S., Harvard study says.
How? How? What? The brains of these people.
The New York Times also
lack of brains.
Yeah, the New York Times also came out and said that jogging is now racist and has always excluded Black people. So, that's the absolute state of America.
They said that about nature, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everything's just racist. Like snow, it's racist. The air,
you know what?
It's racist. The air actually is racist.
I have this tweet pinned on my I have it up here. Look at this. This is my pinned tweet. I've had it up for a while. I did it on June 20th, and I just had it up ever since because I feel like it's so perfect. The more I learn, the more I realize people are sheep. But that's not enough. Okay? That's not enough. That's true, but there's something missing. Not only are they sheep, they have the memory of goldfish. Okay? For these people to read the news as they do, to be, the protests don't cause any sort of super spreader events, which thousands upon thousands of people march together, right? But then, thousands of people march together for a different cause, and suddenly it's a super spreader event. But these people believe what they're given. They're being shoveled poop right into their mouths, and they're going, "This tastes delicious," and it backs up my worldview, so I'm right. That's what it feels like. These people are sheep with the memory of goldfish. And it is so sad to see the state of humanity and how easily manipulated these people are. I mean, I don't want to say I was one of them because I just didn't choose to pay attention. I was too busy skating and bleeding from downhill skateboarding or falling in the streets and just like living my life, not really giving to anything about the political realm, about the state of humanity as a whole. And then I opened my eyes and then I was like, what is this? Where are we? How did we get here? How is this the situation we're in? This is not what I grew up. This is not the world I grew up in. People who were old enough to live in the 90s know that it wasn't like this. Race relations, we didn't even talk about race. Race wasn't a thing we spoke about. Because it isn't. It wasn't. If you watch Donald Trump's show, I was talking to a few people about this. Donald Trump's show, right? I'm talking about The Apprentice, okay? If you go back and watch that show, he had all sorts of people on his show. It didn't matter what color you are. It mattered if you were good. That's it. I mean, it was plain to see. You look back in his career. I mean, the first building that he did coming into New York City, right? They didn't even want him. The elites were like, get out. We don't want you. You're new money. We're old money. You don't belong here. He's like, I don't care. F you. I'm doing this. And he brought in a woman to do the job because she was the best at what she did. It's like they call him a sexist, they call him a racist, they call him all these things when if you open your eyes at all and look at the history of what he's done, he's not any of these things. These people are, I mean, I'm going on a rant because these people piss me off. Oh, am I blurry? Come on, unblurry me, camera.
You're getting
Come
too
on.
woke. You're getting too woke. The camera can't handle it. You know,
Thank
Adam,
you, camera.
going back to your reference to the
God.
90s, I only watch shows from the 90s. I'm watching Doogie Howser right
Good
now.
shows.
It's a great show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I like them is because they teach you life lessons. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, if you're a thug, this is what's going to happen, but you can change your life by getting a job, by making the right decisions, blah, blah,
Nice.
blah. And it was very wholesome. It was a great time where there was actually life lessons that were shown and taught in these shows. Whereas nowadays, it's like, oh, I'm black. I get shot by the police. Nothing can happen for me in America. The white man hates me. I'm oppressed. And that's literally every single freaking show. It's the same for Hispanic people too. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Every show.
Every single show. I'm just like, how about we go back to everyone just wanting to learn the same life lessons about being a good person? That'd be super cool.
Exactly. That's what they don't understand. They said, "Oh, white people can't use black people in gifs or gifs, whatever you want to say."
Oh yeah, your emojis can't be black because that's racist.
It's like, but I relate to them. They're a fellow human being that I relate to, and they're emoting exactly what I feel. Like, you're the racist for telling me that I can't relate to them because they're a different skin color. F you.
Yeah.
I'm so close to swearing. Oh, I want to.
Because I haven't seen you this heated before, Adam. Oh,
dude, I'm so fed up with talking about race. Same. I feel like every so often I have to talk about it because they keep shoveling it into people's... Hold on. This is so bonkers. There's I said I poked my head into the internet for just like a little bit today, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I saw was... I don't even need to get into it. It's white person does this to a black person. And I'm like, why all the colors? The dude was in... Oh, I want to swear. Oh, I don't swear on my show. I'm trying very hard not to. But the person did something terrible to another person. All right? The guy deserves everything he's going to get. I don't care what skin color he was. I don't care what skin color she was. It was a girl and a guy. All right? Not that the gender even matters. It does actually matter. It was a dude doing a terrible thing to a woman. And it's terrible. I don't care. Like, ugh. You don't do that. I don't care what the skin color match was. The only reason they're adding that, just as you said, CNN only reports on specific color combinations to fill the narrative, to make it convince people their worldview is correct, that the world is racist, that they're oppressed because they're person of color, that they need all of this. They literally need every single story they can get, because if they reported on every time any of these stories came out, it would blow the narrative, and they can't have that. Stupid.
100%.
And it pisses me off.
It's exhausting to try to keep up with, and yeah, I've had to take steps back from politics lately just because of the mass amounts of manipulation that we're living through, we're about to go through, or the CDC today is saying, you know, whether or not you're vaccinated, you're still going to have to wear a face mask. And we all called this, we all knew this was happening. But like you were talking about, everyone has the memory of a goldfish, everyone's a sheep. So people are going to willingly accept this again, and we're never going to get out of this. And that's just the state of not only America, but the rest of the world. Luckily, like we saw this past weekend, people are getting angry and they are pushing back, but we should have never initially bent the knee to begin with, because that's how we got here.
True.
And people keep saying, you know, oh, you give them an inch, you take the mile. Well, it's much harder to take back the mile than it would have been to not even give the inch.
Yep, exactly. Whatever happened to America doesn't negotiate with terrorists. That's what it feels like we're doing right now. We're negotiating with our freedoms. Not even just with terrorists. We're basically going, well, our rights are on the line. We had them from the get-go, and now we're going, well, all right, here's a little bit. Can I have my freedom back? We always had our freedom.
People think that compliance equals freedom when in reality, it's the exact opposite. Compliance equals no freedom. And the more you comply, the less and less freedoms you will have over time until you wake up one day and you realize, like, wow, I can't leave my house until I scan this app, take a
Yep.
test, and the government tells me I can't. How did I get here?
Step off me.
Mm.
Peace. I'm out. That's not happening.
Ugh, man.